All right, we're going to talk about a simple, powerful, and honestly, a kind of terrifying law of nature. It governs one of the ocean's most perfect predators, and it holds a massive lesson for every single one of us.
You see, sharks live by this really strange law, and it's not what you think. It has absolutely nothing to do with hunting or finding their next meal. The law is this simple. If they stop moving, they die. That's it. It isn't a choice, it's a brutal consequence. To stop is to perish. Now, that's a pretty cool biology fact for sure, but the real reason we're digging into this is what it says about us.
Because you have to ask yourself, how many of us are walking around, breathing, going through the motions, but on the inside, where it really counts, we've completely stopped moving? Let's break this down.
Okay, so first up, let's really get what this law is all about and why it even exists. It's really a matter of life and breath.
So for certain sharks, like the great white, constant motion isn't just a lifestyle choice. It's not a habit. It is literally woven into their DNA. It's the absolute core engine of their survival.
Right, so how does that actually work? I mean, why is standing still a literal death sentence for them? Well, it all comes down to the simple act of breathing. The science behind this is actually fascinating. It's a process called ram ventilation. By constantly swimming forward, they're literally forcing oxygen-rich water across their gills. So get this, the movement is the breathing. They are one and the same thing.
Think about that for a second. For them, there's no in-between. There's no hitting the pause button. There is only forward motion, or suffocation. It is an absolute law with an absolute final consequence.
And this is where the shark's world collides with our own. Because while we may not need to swim to breathe, we are governed by a surprisingly similar law. This chart lays it all out, doesn't it? For the shark, stopping means physical death. For us, stagnation, which is just stopping our growth, our learning, our evolution, it leads to a kind of internal death. Our ambition suffocates, our skills get old, our relevance just fades away. I want you to let that one sink in for a minute. We always think of falling as this big, loud, dramatic crash, but sometimes it's just standing perfectly still while the rest of the world moves on without you. It's silent, it's subtle, and that is what makes it so incredibly dangerous. The comfort zone, it feels safe, right? It feels secure. But in reality, it's the one place where we stop forcing new water over our gills. We stop absorbing new ideas, new skills, and new perspectives. And just like the shark, we slowly begin to suffocate on the inside. So what does this internal death actually look like in the real world? I mean, in our careers, with our finances, in our day-to-day lives, the cost is very, very real. Just think about it. In today's economy, if you're not actively learning, you are, by default, falling behind. If you're not adapting to change, you risk becoming a relic. And that safe zone you love so much, it eventually becomes the very trap that makes you and your skills obsolete.
And look, this isn't just some abstract philosophy. It's the new economic reality. The world is moving faster than it ever has before. And the opportunities, the wealth, the real success, it's all flowing towards the people who behave like the shark. The ones in constant forward motion.
Okay, so we get the problem. Standing still is dangerous. I think we've established that. The big question is, what's the solution? How do we actually adopt the shark's mindset and apply it to our own lives? Well, the secrets are actually simple to understand, but man, they require discipline. It means you commit to constantly learning. It means you adapt quickly when things change. It means you're willing to tackle the hard problems, to swim out in the deep water. And maybe above all, it means you never, ever get too comfortable exactly where you are. Let me ask you a real question. What was the last tangible skill you learned? Something that makes you more valuable today than you were 6 months ago? Can you name it instantly? And here's an even tougher one. Are you truly moving, or are you just busy? There is a huge difference between motion and progress. Being busy is not the same as moving forward. Are you learning and evolving, or are you just running in place? And you know, this might be the most important takeaway of all. We have it completely backwards. We think we need to feel motivated to start moving. But the shark teaches us the exact opposite. You move first, and the very act of moving creates the momentum, the motivation to keep on going. So I'll leave you with that one, a final thought to really chew on. Think about the subtle but profound difference between these two states. Are you moving forward right now, or are you just not stopped yet?
because in a world that's only getting faster, just not being stopped is pretty much the same thing as being left behind.